Hello and welcome. You're watching Wion special coverage in Indian elections, and I'm Karthikeya Sharma. 429 constituencies across India went to poll today. Assembly elections were held in two major states, Maharashtra and Haryana. These states house over 11% of India's population and contribute to 18% of the country's economy. There were also by-elections held today. 51 seats across 16 states. Of these, one was a Lok Sabha seat. In the next 1 hour, we will talk all about today's elections. We will talk about the election issues, the voter sentiment and the contesting parties. We, of course, will also take a look at the exit polls. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the headlines. Voting in Haryana and Maharashtra comes to an end. Going by the campaign mood, BJP is set to form government in both states with a handsome majority. There were also votes held for 51 assembly segments across 16 states. All eyes on BJP. The result would show whether Article 370 worked for BJP or not. Opposition in a tight space in both Haryana and Maharashtra. Congress stares at yet another bad performance. Local leaders desert them for the greener pasture. Devendra Fadnavis and Manohar Lal Khattar emerge as tall state leaders, both equal footing in publicity in regard to BJP headquarters. Article 370 in Pakistan remains top issue for Bharatiya Janata Party in the elections. Ruling party of India sticks to its nationalism narrative for state elections. Leadership crisis continues in the grand old Congress party. Sonia Gandhi remains absent while Rahul's half-hearted campaign fails to ring a bell with the electorate. And we have a very special guest joining us in our broadcast tonight. Joining us in our studio is senior journalist, political analyst Daniel Francis. And also we are joined by Professor Makran R. Paranjpe. He's the director of the Indian Institute of Advanced Studies. Joining us live from London is author, economist and Labour politician Lord Meghnad Desai, and also another senior journalist, Arun Anand. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on Beyond. And before we kickstart our discussion, I want to take a quick look at some facts, figures and factors from the Maharashtra Assembly polls. Now, elections were held today for 288 of the 289 seats. Now, Maharashtra Assembly is a big assembly. The one remaining seat belongs to a nominated member. It was a single-phase election. The total number of voters, over 8.9 crore, around 95,000 polling stations were set up across the state. 3,239 candidates were contesting for the 288 seats. Remember, Bharatiya Janata Party and Shiv Sena went to polls together. This despite the two parties expressing starkly contrasting views on the range of recent issues, including RA colony issue. Now let's also do a quick recap of the last assembly results. In 2014, Bharatiya Janata Party won 120 seats, the Shiv Sena won 63 seats, Congress managed to get 42 seats and NCP won 41 seats. Their vote share also on your screens. The political scenario in Maharashtra has changed significantly since 2014. Now BJP's footprint has grown rapidly. BJP has also fared extremely well in the recent Lok Sabha polls. It won 23 of the 48 seats from Maharashtra. Sena, on the other hand, got 18 seats, NCP 4 seats, and Congress was reduced to 1. Now, this graphic on your screen is a clear reflection of BJP's hold over Maharashtra. So, will Devendra Fadnavis-led government remain in power? The political scientists have no doubt about it. For Congress, on the other hand, it appears that the battle is lost. The party is reeling under an identity crisis. There is no clear leadership. The cadres are demotivated. And top all of these, there are internal feuds, local faction fighting in the party. The party won 42 seats in 2014. It will be interesting to see where they stand after today's vote. And let me straight away go across to Lord Meghdad Desai. Sir, the bigger question here in the 51 assembly seats, Haryana and Maharashtra is, what has happened to India's opposition, sir?
Well, I think there is no doubt that this time around, the opposition will not perform as well as it did last time. Partly because the defeat in the general election has completely demoralized them. And they haven't, Congress especially, hasn't done anything since May to recover or re-engage or reconstruct the party. And I think after a long attempt, they just replaced Rahul Gandhi with Sonia Gandhi, which shows the bankruptcy of the party. And I think we need an opposition, but right now there is no hope of getting one. Because NCP is refusing to join Congress, unite with Congress, and NCP is also a very weak party now because they only got Sharad Pawar. What else have they got?
Let me bring in.
So I think BJP, Shiv Sena are going to win massively. The only question is how large a majority the Worli seat will give, to the Thackeray prince.
On this, let me bring Professor Paranjpe. Is it correct to say that the world has really changed for the Indian politics? In 1970s, there was a very famous book by Rajni Kothari saying that India represents a Congress-dominated system. Is it correct to say that larger shift has taken place in Indian politics? Now we see a BJP-dominated system, something which was not seen when Rajni Kothari was writing about the contemporary politics in India in late 60s and 70s.
I completely agree. I think we've seen a reversal of that formulation, and the domination of the BJP seems so utterly, I would say, undefeatable right now that all the opposition parties are running helter-skelter, scratching their brains, opening up their closets to find out what can be the antidote. And as for the Congress, I've never seen the Congress so demoralized, so divided, and so confused. This morning I saw full-page ads about the Haryana elections where, the same old tired slogans and shibboleths of the Congress, the same old promises, a kind of divide and rule, rejig was, for everybody to see. So it's a very disappointing situation for the Congress. And as to Maharashtra, I think today I would say that the BJP doesn't need the Shiv Sena, but it is a part of its old coalition dharma that it will not abandon its allies when the times get better for the BJP. I think that their only reason to stick with the Shiv Sena is not to divide the Hindu votes. But after this elections, I predict that there will be some developments which may change that alliance, or at least the terms of endearment, or rather, as you said, they're not so endeared to each other anymore.
That's a very interesting point, but for our viewers, perhaps Maharashtra and Haryana are the only two states where a national party has been able to replace it and become a bigger party in both Maharashtra and Haryana. In Haryana, it used to be the Lokdals, the Chautalas, and Maharashtra, it used to be Shiv Sena. And after 30 or 40 years of political consensus in both the states, BJP became the bigger party in both the states, which has not been seen in other states of India like Odisha or Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, or for example, Tamil Nadu. Now there's another state which is going to polls, Haryana. The contest in Haryana today was for 90 assembly seats. Of these, 17 are reserved for scheduled castes, the remaining 73 are for the general category. Remember, we are looking at an agriculture-driven state. The total number of voters in Haryana is around 1.82 crores. The contest in Haryana today was mainly between the four parties, the BJP, the Congress, the Indian National Lok Dal, and the Jan Nayak Janata Party, known as JJP. The state currently has a BJP government. It is being led by BJP Chief Minister Manohar Lal Khattar. Now let's take a look at how Haryana voted in the last assembly elections. BJP won 47 of the 90 seats, INLD won 19, Congress 15, and Bahujan Samaj Party had won a single seat. BJP had backed several seats in the Jat-dominated constituencies. The party is expected to make a comeback given its sweep in the recent parliament elections. Like you can see from the graphics on your screen, BJP won all 10 Lok Sabha seats from Haryana in May this year. What led to this massive rise of Bharatiya Janata Party in Haryana? These are the questions on which we are going to deliberate. Let me go across to senior journalist Arun Anand. Arun, tell me, what made Bharatiya Janata Party click in Haryana? BJP didn't have a leader, it didn't have a local face, and today it has become the most dominant party. What happened in past 6 years?
I think, Karthik, we have been discussing this earlier also. One of the key factors is that this Hindu consolidation wave which has been going on, I have been saying this since 2012 or 13, you can say probably since 2010. So that has broken, all the barriers. It has changed the equation. Like, for example, if you see in both Maharashtra and Haryana, you have a substantial chunk of Dalit population or backward caste. So these used to be the hardcore vote banks of Congress or the non-BJP parties. Similarly, what the BJP has done is that, one, they decided to set the new rules of the game. They didn't try to go by the caste equations. Rest of the parties, they have been distributing ticket on the basis of caste. But they realized, and the rest of the parties also failed to realize that the composition of the population has changed. There is a substantial chunk of younger population which is aspirational. So BJP is catering to those aspirations. That is what is happening. The rest of the parties are not catering to those aspirations.
No, let me bring in Daniel. Daniel, tell me one thing. Is it because of the fact that there is a Hindu consolidation largely in India post 2013? Or is it because of the fact that the issues on which people were voting in 70s and 80s and 90s and 2000, which were directly linked to economy, people don't vote on them. They are voting on different issues like 370, nationalism, internal security. How do you put Congress in this titanic change which we have seen in the last 8 years?
It is always argued that BJP nationalizes the election. It brings in national issues, it brings in surgical strikes, it brings in 370 concepts, and then it goes on in states and nationalizes the election and it wins the election. It was happening during the Congress rule also. The state elections were not so localized we try to examine them. But the BJP is using very tactical methods. One is the fact that they are nationalizing the elections. They are having national concepts like national security, like Kashmir, like the position on Pakistan, 370, so on and so forth, because they think that these are unifying concepts that work all across India. And the evidence shows that they have worked all across India.
Or is it because of the fact that they already have curbed the middle class? Middle class was 50 million in 1970s, and today middle class stands at 450 million?
Please understand one thing. We have a middle class, which is a huge middle class. We also have a huge population that is now fed with the media discourse. The way BJP sets its media discourse and gets people to rally around that discussion. Means there in these two elections, there was a lot of opportunity for the opposition to set the discourse in Haryana and in Maharashtra. But they just failed to set the discourse on the real issue. Don't forget that, for example, if we come to Maharashtra, farm distress is very high. Remember those images where hundreds and thousands of farmers were walking all the way from Nasik to Mumbai, which shook the conscience of the nation. But when you are not able to capitalize on such issues during elections and give a real fight, sometimes what happens is that not necessarily.
I think these are the issues which we are going to come back after a break. But the larger point is, yes, there are issues in the economy. Yes, there are other issues apart from those which is being detailed as emotive. But people still choose to vote for Bharatiya Janata Party. The first exit poll on your screen now, TV Today Access, My India. The pollsters give 109 to 124 seats to Bharatiya Janata Party, 57 to 70 seats to Shiv Sena, 30 to 40 seats to the Congress Party, 40 to 50 seats to NCP, and others are between 22 to 32, which means that there are a lot of independent candidates who are going to make it to the assembly in the state of Maharashtra if we go by the TV Today poll. Remember, we are talking about 288 seats. And let me go across to Lord Meghnad Desai, who is joining us from London. Sir, thank you very much once again that you made time. Are you surprised at these exit polls, sir? Are you surprised at the results? The complete consolidation of Shiv Sena and Bharatiya Janata Party in the polls of Maharashtra? Or did you expect it? I think bit of a technical problem. Daniel, tell me, are these results expected?
Absolutely expected, on the expected lines, because I'll tell you one thing, that there is a very interesting pattern in this Maharashtra elections. If you see the numbers of the independents, okay, BJP rebels who have not got ticket, who have been tactically put against Sena, these are all those others that are perhaps winning in Mumbai, Thane and Konkan region, where there is a fight of vote share between the BJP and the Sena. We'll have to carefully watch.
So what you're saying is, if all these others join Bharatiya Janata Party after winning election,
they will definitely
then BJP
join.
Perhaps will not need support of Shiv Sena to form the government.
My bet is that there are at least 20 to 25 independents who will win. They are largely BJP supporting independents, and they will all come and join. It may also happen that the Sena BJP may make a government with them. Means make a full pass the halfway mark with with their help, reducing Sena to a very junior partner. Okay. Then the terms of the government and the relationship between them and the government will change.
Now the second exit poll has also come. The state of Maharashtra. It's from ABP News. See voters, out of 288 seats, the pollsters have given 204 seats to Bharatiya Janata Party and Shiv Sena alliance, 69 seats to Congress and NCP alliance, and 15 seats to other political parties. It's roughly 204 for BJP plus, Congress plus is 69, and others it's only 17. So it's a clear sweep if we go by the exit poll. NDA alliance has 46% of vote share, while UP alliance stands at 37% and other parties at 17%. And I'll come to Daniel, but let me go to Makrand Paranjpe, who is also very patiently waiting for us. There's a larger question here, sir. I don't want to reduce this conversation to Haryana 51 seats. Is it safe enough to say that the mandate like this also is like a renewal of mandate for Modi and a public stamp on the decision he took on Article 370? Will it be correct to say that?
Absolutely. I have no question about that. In fact, I was just going to go back to one of the things your earlier panelists said, which is it's not just about issues and the opposition not being able to capture on, whatever is happening, but it's also a question of leadership. And so I think you're spot on when you bring in Narendra Modi, because this election, though it's a local election, is still about leadership. And what you find in the opposition is actually a crisis of leadership. It's not only a matter of credible issues not emerging or not being mobilized or articulated or conveyed to the populace, but it is really a matter of not having any leaders. And Modi is seen as a visionary leader who wants to transform India. And that's I would say, the inspiration which makes people go beyond the immediately local issues, which definitely bother them. But here's an opportunity actually for the opposition, if they can come up with a credible alternative, to mobilize the local issues really, because people do vote differently.
Are you saying, Mr. Paranjpe, that the Congress is not able to benefit from the issues which are right there in front of them because there's a leadership crisis?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. And not just Congress, but also the INLD, which is in a disarray. There's a family feud going on. And look at the Indian the Nationalist Congress, which is also divided. Praful Patel is in the dock. So what you're seeing is really the opposition going through one of its worst phases in post-independence India, frankly.
Okay. And on your screen right now are the exit polls from the survey by Republic, Jan Ki Baat, for the state of Maharashtra. And the pollsters have given 135 to 142 seats to Bharatiya Janata Party, 81 to 88 seats to Shiv Sena. For Congress, it is 24 to 20 seats. According to the survey, NCP is expected to get around 35 to 30 seats and 12 to 8 seats to others. And The Times now has given BJP plus 230 seats, Congress plus 48 seats, others 10 seats, not much to boast of. And let me go back to Lord Meghnad Desai. Lord, the question which I was asking you was that not to reduce this debate to Maharashtra, 51 odd seats, or the local caste equations in Haryana. Is the political template of India changing? Has middle class taken the driving seat, which in 1970s and 80s was being driven from rural areas? Has that come about because of urbanization?
Yes, I think the rural-urban distance has reduced quite a lot, and we have better communications, we have better telecommunications, and rural areas have over the many years prospered enough so that they are buying the same thing as urban area and so on. What I would say is that if people tell us that they call some influence of that in this election, because as Makran Paranjpe just said, yes, Modi ji has put the emphasis on national issues. It's sort of one nation, one narrative kind of idea, no matter how many elections. But we have to see whether at the local level there are still these issues which bite. Yes, opposition is not in any sort of position to exploit them very much. But people can't stay away. So I think BJP has to get 2/3 in each state to be able to really show that it has no rival. Yeah, I mean, it will definitely get a single party majority in both states. That is a
okay.
That's a no-brainer. I think we ought to see a very strong showing by BJP. Otherwise, it has problems.
That's an interesting point.
It
Two
is
more
not a
surveys.
simple majority.
That's an interesting point.
They have to do better.
Absolutely. Now, according to the surveys by the 18 IPSOS for the state of Maharashtra, and the BJP Shiv Sena alliance gets 243 seats, whereas Congress and NCP alliance gets 41 seats. Now, All India Majlis-e-Ittehadul Muslimin party gets just 1 seat, and 3 seats they go to other parties. And now the survey done by TV9 Marathi. BJP plus is 197, it's near 200. Congress plus is 75, and others again, 16 seats. And on this, I'll bring in Arun Anand. Arun, tell me, the two leaders, Manohar Lal Khattar, Devendra Fadnavis, completely unknown to the larger Indian population, both of them became the chief ministers for the first time. When this campaign happened, for the first time, the cutouts of both Devendra Fadnavis, and especially the case of Manohar Lal Khattar, they were as equal to those which were put up by party for Amit Shah and Prime Minister. How do you put this in context of development of two regional leaders by a particular party who have acquired a national space for themselves? How has that happened? Because they were unknown in 2014.
See, what has happened, Kartikeya, that when BJP lost the Bihar election after winning 2014 Lok Sabha elections, and so that was a turning point for BJP. They realized that they have to empower the regional leaders, they have to empower the chief ministers, and they have to build up a new leadership at regional level. So that is if you would look at it carefully, ever since then, any assembly election which has happened, if they have declared the chief minister there, or if they had a chief minister there, it was a chief minister who was given the prominent space, and Narendra Modi and Amit Shah and the rest of the party leaders, they were there. But ultimately, whether it was Shivraj Singh Chauhan, whether it was Raman Singh, so they were given the prominent role, whether they won or lost. So one is this. Second is, they have also realized, see, both Devendra Fadnavis and people like Manohar Lal Khattar, if you go by the typical way Indian political leaders are chosen to be the chief ministers, they are an aberration. That is what, they are disruptors. That is basically the crux of Modi's politics. Manohar Lal Khattar is a Punjabi, doesn't fit into the caste equation anywhere in Haryana. Similarly, Devendra Fadnavis also, he also doesn't fit into that caste equation there. So they are disruptors, and this is what is rattling.
I think disruptor is the word, Daniel. Why isn't this disruption taking place in the Congress party? Rahul Gandhi resigned, he's going to be 50 in next 1 year, and you have a very senior former Congress leader in 70s Sonia Gandhi becoming the president. So why isn't that disruption happening in the oldest political party of this country?
I think
Disruption in creating new political leadership.
I think Rahul is the disruptor, and Congress now needs a disruptor to disrupt Rahul. I think that if that's the way you will have to put it. But if you really come to these two men, exceptional. Manohar Lal Khattar never was elected to the assembly before he, there's the first term as a member of parliament, member of legislative assembly, and the chief minister. Devendra Fadnavis has worked with the BJP for a very long time, but he is making history, and I'm telling you the state of affairs of the Congress from the point of view of what Fadnavis could achieve in his lifetime. This is the first government in Maharashtra which is repeating its performance and repeating its chief minister. In the 1977, we had the first non-Congress chief minister in Sharad Pawar in Congress S. And 1980 onwards to 1995, Congress continued till Manoj Joshi became the chief minister. No, second thing is that from 1975 onwards, there is no chief minister in Maharashtra who is a completely
taken. I think Lord Desai wants to make a point. Before you do that, I have a question for you. Is this an end of road for the Congress party, or you think that the Congress still has the stamina to continue in the Indian politics? A lot of people would say that still have 20% of the votes that went to the Congress party in 2019 Lok Sabha elections, or you see that they will be reduced to a big regional party sort of affair. Lord.
No, Congress will last. It will be weakened, but it will last a long time because it has still a national network. What it lacks is leadership. It lacks the decision-making power to have a new leader. And unless Rahul Gandhi says, I'm going abroad and I'm not coming back, period. And then they have to choose somebody from outside the family. Of course, they may end up choosing Priyanka, and then that will be another sort of no-no. But I think there are sufficiently young people in Congress, like Jyotiraditya Scindia.
But do you think that the Congress can survive without a Gandhi? Is it realistically possible, Lord?
Of course, any party can survive without an old family. I mean, that's ridiculous. We can't go on thinking that only the Gandhi people can lead the Congress. I mean, that is, after all, one of the most successful, or two of the most successful prime ministers were Lal Bahadur Shastri and Narasimha Rao.
Okay, I think
they were both not in the family, and they were both outstandingly successful prime
Yes, they have their contribution in the Indian contemporary politics. Professor Paranjpe, you wanted to comment?
Exactly.
Yes, I agree that you cannot write off the Congress. It has deep reserves and resources, as well as a place in the heart of the people, however shrunk it is in today's world. And I predict actually that they're going to get their, if not act together, they're going to have a huge churn in the next couple of years. And in a way, sort out some of these big issues. How it will come about, I'm not so sure. But I see it happening. It's going to be perish or transform. And I think they will pick up the gauntlet. And there'll be a series of moves over the next couple of years for the Congress to straighten itself out. But this is, as you rightly said earlier, a period for BJP also to prove itself. And coming back to the idea of disruptors, I find it fascinating. An outsider is not necessarily a disruptor. And when it comes to Devendra Fadnavis, I think he has evolved so much. Those who have observed him from his early green or salad days, he's become a very shrewd, experienced politician, a good deal maker. He's got a certain vision for the development of Maharashtra. He's handled very big crises, not only the Farmers' March, but Koregaon Bhima, a variety of these things. So I see a maturing of a politician like Devendra Fadnavis, rather than seeing him as just a disruptor.
No, absolutely. Now let's focus on the state of Haryana, which has 90 seats, and the poll results are out for them, and we will be taking a look at the exit poll result from Republic Jan Ki Baat Survey. Now, BJP gets 52 to 63 seats, while Congress get 19 to 15 seats. The pollsters have given 1-0 to Indian National Lok Dal at the receiving end, and 9 to 7 seats for the Jan Nayak Janata Party, again sort of a breakaway party for RLD, and same goes for others, 9 to 7. So now if we look at the Times Now poll for Haryana, it is 71 to Bharatiya Janata Party plus, and 11 to Congress and others 8, which means it's a clean sweep for Bharatiya Janata Party in Haryana, which means it's going to improve its performance. One is to win and another is to improve upon. And ABP News, BJP gets 72 seats, Congress get 8 seats and others 10. So the most important aspect of these exit polls are, broadly speaking, that everywhere BJP seemed to be improving its performance. Something which people thought will not be there in 2019 elections, but BJP improved, crossed into the 300 plus mark. So for BJP to improve its performance is something very, very important. And coming back to you, Professor Pranjpe, Daniel, I'll come to you. Both of them are very patiently waiting for us. Mr. Pranjpe, tell me, in both the places, Bharatiya Janata Party is going to improve itself. In some of the surveys, Congress and other political parties are holding their ground. Now, is this consolidation of vote largely because of the fact that the whole debate on the issue of culture, politics, nationalism has been dominated and appropriated by Bharatiya Janata Party, and there's an ideological confusion within the Congress? For example, on 370, the Nehru-Gandhi family takes one position, and the issue of 370, other political leaders within the Congress take another. Is that the root issue, and which is being reflected poll by poll, state by state, seat by seat?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the issues, but I have a different take on the success of the BJP. I think it's a party which is run extremely efficiently. It's become like that democratic machine which used to win the Chicago area elections. The poll agents, the people on the ground, the way they manage elections. See, there are the big issues which the big leaders actually spew out, and they are renewed by the cadre. But that's not the only reason for their success. They have a very smart group of people who are managing the business of democracy and electioneering. And I think that we can't fail to recognize that their real success, look at the size of the party, look at the membership, it's gone to 10 crores. How can that happen without a systematic, I would say, engineering of what it takes to win elections? And they're close to mastering it.
To you, Lord Meghnad Desai, is it also because of the fact that despite economic slowdown in India, despite the fact that big bang reforms were expected of Nirmala Sitharaman, the sort of welfareism which has spawned under Prime Minister Modi's regime, there's a lot of expectation that we will get something from the government, and that is working in a long run?
Yes.
Basically everybody concentrates on the growth numbers. But Narendra Modi has, over the last 5.5 years, built the first welfare state India has seen. It is, it's not yet complete, but it is very, very widely spread. So, the informal sector people get something, the farmers get something, the elderly get something, the women get something, and it's very kind of deep, sort of very wide coverage of people's welfare. And I think people know that ultimately if they are in distress, somebody's going to look after them. And that kind of sense has come. While everybody looks at macroeconomic numbers, on the ground, things like, the gas stoves or rural electrification or toilets, they do matter. People may laugh at them, but people do appreciate that their lives have improved. And that really is what a good state is supposed to deliver. A good leader is supposed to deliver welfare.
Daniel,
and that welfare has to be delivered, regardless of any 370 or whatever it is. That is what moves people.
Lord Meghnad Desai is making a point that, this welfareism has worked well for Bharatiya Janata Party. Yes, it does. But do you think that that's the only thing which has worked so far in favor of Bharatiya Janata Party? Or is it because of the fact that the Congress has become extremely inward-looking from 2012 onwards, whereby the succession of the party
the rise
has created so much of problem for the organization that it's not outward looking at all?
Most importantly, on the welfare part, this is the first welfare state India has seen. I beg to differ with this, but I'll give them due where it is. The BJP is like the acupressure physician. It touches all the right chords, relaxes you, but there's no real healing if you really see the real impact, because there's absolute farmer crisis in Haryana. There's absolute farm distress and floods.
But
and
there's
drought
trust in the
situation.
leadership. That's something
I'll
which you
tell you
cannot
one
deny.
thing. If I thought about this for many months together, I said, what is it that defines the relationship between a government and a voter? And that is trust. The fact that they trust them. See, Mr. Pawar may have been on the ground going to all 31 districts. He might be the man of the match, but he was a man with Maharashtra gave enough chance and gave enough honor. Now that era is over. Now the new trust relationship is between BJP, the voters and Fadnavis, or the voters and Narendra Modi at a very personal level, and that is really working in their favor.
Or Arun, is it because of the fact that the old age fiefdom politics has ended for some time now? Because you can't say that everything ends. It's like that fiefdom politics of Jyotiraditta Scindia, that he will win one seat, what may come, but he lost. Is it because of the fact that we have really transitioned to a new age politics, or a new kind of politics where larger macro issues will dominate and override regional loyalties?
See, Karthikeya, for winning an election and for running the governments, you need basically three things. One is that you need to have a charismatic leadership. Second, you need to have a vision. And third, based on the ideology. And third is that you need to have organizational structure. So the BJP has got it, as Daniel was saying, that, so I'm going a little deeper into that. They are able to, touch all the right points because they are very closely connected to the ground. They are getting the real-time feedback. You see, the background of people like Devendra Fadnavis or Manohar Lal Khattar or any of their leaders, most of them have worked for n number of years, first in the RSS at the grassroots level, then they graduated into ABVP. Then
quickly, because I'm really falling short of time, is it because of the politics of povertarianism is ending, that we will give you roti kapra aur makan, basically, the basic need? Has that politics ended in this country? And people want to vote for other things, because Nyaya itself was a big scheme, electoral promise.
I'll tell you one thing. If you see 2014 elections of Rahul Gandhi, where he was trying to proclaim things that हमने आपको ये दिया, आपने आपको वो दिया, हमने आपको ऐसा दिया, हमने आपको वैसा दिया, this kind of politics Narendra Modi exposed. First of all, he argued that in the last 60 years India did not get anything which people of India bought. Second thing, he said that, I am somebody who can take you to that next level, which the aspirational class joined. Now, when aspirational class joined with the aspirations that were promised by Narendra Modi, they left caste and everything behind.
Arun, tell me, do you agree with this? I think the politics of povertarianism?
Yeah, I think it's ending, but more importantly, it has to do with, as Daniel was saying, as I said earlier also, it's you see the population composition after 2001, how it has changed. So the rest of the political parties, they have not been able to connect with that aspirational aspirations.
Aspirational is the key word.
Yeah.
Lord Meghnad Desai, do you feel that the politics of povertarianism has come to an end? It doesn't work anymore?
Yeah, I tell you why. Because in a country in which people think 5% growth rate is a disaster, has arrived a lot. Because this is a country in which 3% growth was very difficult. So people are getting used to a sustained growth. And secondly, as Makaran Paranjape said, the organization and deep work that BJP does, polling booth by polling booth, is ultimately what really
I think little credit needs to be given to RSS.
It's not Rahul Gandhi who wins elections. It's not Rahul Gandhi who wins elections, it's the people on the ground. And if you don't have people on the ground, nothing happens.
And Professor Paranjpe, do you agree? The politics of povertarianism, it's not functioning? Aspirational India has taken over?
Yes, I think that from poverty mongering, we've gone to Modi hai to mumkin hai. But I think I agree with the other panelists that what we need is credible welfareism. And I think, you see, Nyaya was a cornucopia of promises, but nobody bought it. So I think that what distinguishes this government, especially Narendra Modi, is that he delivers, karke dikhate hain. And I think that is the game changer.
I think you have made a relevant point, but it's now time to give you a larger picture of the poll, so one can understand as to what the mean is. Because if you go by the poll of polls in both Haryana and in both Maharashtra, there are two things which are very, very significant. There's a consolidation of Bharatiya Janata Party, and somehow the politics of NCP and Congress in Maharashtra and the Congress in Haryana is not kicking at all. And these are the two biggest takeaways when it comes to the exit polls. Now it's over to my colleague Krishna Kumar. He's ready with the poll of polls. Krishna.
Right. It's time for elections in India again. This time around, it's a state election. Elections in two states, Maharashtra and Haryana, with results almost seemingly decided with the exit polls itself. Let's take a look at what Maharashtra's exit polls look like. Let's begin with the Maharashtra Times Now exit poll. Times Now says 230 for BJP and allies, and I say BJP plus in Maharashtra, it obviously means the Shiv Sena, 230, Congress plus 48 and others 10. This is a drastic number over here, and the questions over here is also on the BJP's alliance with the Shiv Sena per se. They did go into an alliance before the election, but a lot of questions on what's going to happen once the final numbers come down. But the point over here to note is that the Congress plus allies, Congress plus NCP, who got about 40 odd seats in the previous state elections, are going to go down further with less than that put together in this elections. This is the TV Today Axis My India exit poll. 109, 124 for the BJP. 57 to 70 seats for the Shiv Sena. That's about 160 seats to about 195, 200 seats for BJP and allies. We have the Congress party 32 to 40. NCP 40 to 50, same numbers as last time is what the TV Today Axis poll is saying, and then there are others, 22 to 32 others we're talking about in this particular exit poll. But net, roughly, you're seeing the trend over here. Nothing is even close this time around. Bear in mind, this is just months after the BJP won a thumping election and got re-elected to power. This is the News 18 Ipsos exit poll, the third one we're talking about. BJP 243, Congress plus allies 41. AIMIM, All India MIM, which is 0, which is 1, and then others for 3. Again, in the third exit poll too, Congress getting a lower and lower rating. Congress and allies put together given a total of 40 seats in Maharashtra this time. And I put together, keep in mind, last time around they ended up winning 80, and that was considered a bad performance. The Republic TV Jan Ki Baat poll over here, BJP 135 to 42, Shiv Sena 81. That's what we're talking about, over 200. A minimum is what Republic is giving for the BJP alliance. For the Congress alliance, 20-24, and others 8-12. This is the most damning of all exit polls, talking about how there's absolutely no chance whatsoever, no uncertainty this time around in the Maharashtra state elections. And this is the ABP News C Voter poll. BJP and allies 204. Congress and allies 69 and others 17, and these polls really telling you the story that is reiterating itself with every single one. This one, TV9 Marathi, BJP plus 197, BJP and allies, Congress plus and allies 75. That's one of the better estimates for Congress in the exit polls, and others 16. And now we bring you the poll of polls for the Maharashtra state elections. And as far as the poll of polls that we here at Wion World is One have compiled, take a look at this. BJP and allies 213, Congress and allies 61, others 14. Really, the writing is on the wall, both in terms of the cliche and literally over here for the Congress party, a rudderless Congress party that's been fraught with internal feuds, with leaders feuding among themselves at a time when its own political equity is at an all-time low. All of that means that no surprises expected by any of the exit polls as far as the state of Maharashtra is concerned. And I'm afraid the story remains the same really for the other state election that is taking place simultaneously. That is the state election of Haryana. Bear in mind, two very different states. Maharashtra, far more industrialized as compared to Haryana, a smaller state. Maharashtra is a larger state. Haryana, bear in mind, in the last elections, which was the central government elections, gave all of its seats to the BJP. BJP won everything in Haryana in the central elections, and 0 was the tally of everybody else. Let's take a look at what the exit polls say for the Haryana state elections this time around. BJP and allies 71, 90 seats. Bear in mind, in Haryana, Congress 11, others 8. Of the 90 seats in Haryana, bear in mind 73 is for the general category. The rest is for the backward castes. TV9 Bharatvarsh poll for Haryana, 47 for the BJP, 23 for the Congress party, 20 for the others. There you see a little bit of a vulgarity in some of the exit polls for Haryana, where Congress is expected to perform better, but the net result is likely to remain the same come what may. BJP 72 in the ABP News C Voter poll, Congress 8, others 10. There you go, an exit poll telling you the story even more pronounced as far as the final results go. This is the Republic TV Jan Ki Baat poll. The Republic TV Jan Ki Baat poll giving 52 to 63 for the BJP, 15 to 19 for the Congress party. For the INLD and the JJP, barely anything. Bear in mind, these two are the other parties in Haryana that are fighting it out in this particular state elections. They didn't get too many number of seats in the last state elections as well, which was won by the BJP handsomely. And this time around, BJP is expected to extend that lead further, according to some exit polls. At least this is the Republic TV Jan Ki Baat exit poll, which is giving about maximum of 63 for the BJP, 63 seats for the BJP, and a minimum of 52. And we also have, apart from that, the News 18 Ipsos poll, which gives BJP 75, Congress 10, JJP's 2, and others 3. Nothing for the INLD, the local party of Haryana. So that's another estimate over here. That is now. It's time for the poll of polls for the state of Haryana, in which BJP 64, Congress 14, and others 11. Again, for the second time around, the writing is again on the wall. As far as the final results go, ladies and gentlemen, that will come out when on counting day. But for now, it is clear, be it in terms of Haryana or for the state of Maharashtra. Keep in mind, Maharashtra also voted comprehensively for the BJP in the central elections a few months ago this year. Out of the 48 seats, BJP winning 23 of the seats in Maharashtra. And Maharashtra this time around, of its 288 seats that have gone to polls, out of the 289, 213 are set to be held by the BJP and Shiv Sena. That's it as far as the poll of polls for this state elections in India is concerned.
Thank you, Krishna. Thank you for this detailed account of poll of polls, and this is all in our special coverage on Indian elections in 51 assembly seats, Haryana and Maharashtra.